guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the COLOURPOP Double ENTENDRE palette. Hopefully I am pronouncing that right. I did YouTube on how to say it, so I'm sorry if I am butchering it, but hopefully I'm fairly close to saying it properly. But anyway, in today's video, I'll be giving you guys my review and also 3 demos and swatches as always on this beautiful palette here. So if you guys want to learn a little bit more, then just continue watching. Okay, so first let's talk about some product info, and I also want to address the packaging as well. So this is 16 US dollars. It has 8 mattes, 3 metallics and 1 satin shade. This did launch over like the Black Friday, Summer Monday weekend, so I personally feel like this palette did get thrown under the rug a little bit. I really thought this palette was going to sell out just because of the tones. I know people freak over like warm, neutral tones, so I really did think this was going to sell out. It is the same packaging as the I Think I Love You palette. So the only way you can tell the difference between these two palettes is if you turn it around. The sticker is different, and if you open the palette up. And me personally, I am quite disappointed in this packaging because all of the COLOURPOP palettes that they have came out with, the packaging is different. They are all completely different from each other, and I'm just disappointed that they had to use the same packaging. And to me, that feels very, very rushed. I feel like they just wanted to push something out during this weekend, and they couldn't spend a little bit more time on the packaging. The box is different, but I mean, I don't keep my boxes. I only keep it for the review and then I throw it away. You know, I wish the packaging would look like what the box looks like instead of using a packaging that they already have. And then the shades in here are, you know, standard shades. So the whole heat of this palette launching, I do feel like it was a little bit rushed for these certain reasons. So this palette is a straight up warm, a hint of neutral palette. Like if you were starting out with makeup, I personally would recommend this palette out of all the COLOURPOP palettes the most. Like if I was going to recommend my 16, 17-year-old self that's starting off with makeup and a COLOURPOP palette, I probably would go for this one just because this has 8 mattes in it. I don't think any of the other COLOURPOP palettes have this many mattes. Most of them either have 6, 5 or 4. This has 8, so that is freaking amazing. And I think when you are starting out with makeup, you really do want to play with a bit more mattes than shimmers. I don't know, it's just my personal opinion. I just feel like mattes are just the way to start off with, and then you can start playing with shimmer shadows and just the variety of mattes there is. So you have this shade here, you can set your eye primer with this, and that's what I have been loving to do with this shade. It's kind of like a creamy light banana shade. You could also use this to highlight your brow bone if you want a matte highlight. I have been loving this Satin formula that they've been coming out with in more of their palettes. I love using this shade to highlight my brow bone or my inner corner. If I don't want a shimmer, I love this Satin formula. And then you also have this shade down here. If you want to highlight your brow bone with, it's more of a gold and it's more glittery. And then you get some really nice lid shades, like shimmer lid shades here. You get these 3 transition shades. These 2 are more warm. This one is a bit more neutral. So I love how you have that option. Definitely with transition shades, it really directs where your look is going. So if I was going to use these 2 shades, I'm probably going to do more of a warmer look. If I was going to use this shade in my transition, it's definitely going to go more on the neutral or cooler side. You have this beautiful red, which I love. There is a very similar shade in the Jaclyn Hill palette that I always use when I use that palette, and then you just have a deep chocolate brown, which is just necessary. I just think these shades in here are really, really nice. There are 2 shades that I personally would take out. The first one being is this one here. This one is called Sen Noodles. I just have no use for it. It's very similar to this first one here called Lock and Loaded. If you had a deeper skin tone, you probably could use this one to set your eye primer down, but because I'm more of like a light medium, Lock and Loaded is good for me. I don't know, there's not much use for this one. I feel like you could have taken this one out and swapped it for a matte black, and then this would probably be like the ultimate palette. And then we have this shadow here, which is called Hot Bod. It's one of those matte matte base shadows and it has gold glitters in it, but they classify it as a matte shadow, but it has glitter in it. And to me that makes no sense, but you know, in the pan it looks beautiful. You can definitely see the gold reflex in there, and when you also swatch it, it's a matte base, but there are gold, like really fine gold glitters in there. And they had a similar shade like this in a different palette. I completely forgot what it was. I think it was the Element of Surprise palette, but once this shadow is on the eyes, there is no glitter. It's a complete matte shade. So this formula that ColourPop has, I don't like it. I think they should just take it out completely, because when this is on the eyes, it looks exactly the same as this dark brown right at the bottom, because there's no glitter. It's just a matte chocolate brown. Everything else works beautifully. The mattes are so nice, and I love the metallics in here. I think the metallics in here are so good. Like seriously, 1, 2, 3. These metallics are just unreal. These 3 here, I mean, I love it. Definitely this palette has pros and cons, and it's not for everyone, because you probably can dupe a lot of these eyeshadows. I will show you guys some ColourPop dupes. I probably could dupe, if not all of these shadows, with my whole eyeshadow collection, but I'm not gonna do my whole eyeshadow collection. I just want to dupe with what ColourPop already has. So just kind of overall, this palette does feel a little bit rushed because it was launched over Black Friday. The packaging and the shades are just a little bit, you know, just standard shades, so it does feel a little bit rushed to me, but nonetheless I personally do like it. This is gonna go on this trolley that I have here where I keep my go-to palettes. So the 2 go-to palettes that I keep on this trolley are my Jaclyn Hill palette with Morphe, and then the Juvia's Place palette, and this palette is going here. I don't know, I just feel like I can't justify it for everyone else. Like, you decide if you want this palette or not, like what you have in your collection. For me, I think it's a great addition. It's not going to be chucked away and forgotten about. It's going onto my top trolley and I'll be using it on the regular. So it really just depends on you. This is just how I feel about it, so I can't justify it for you personally because I don't know your situation. So just take what you want from this review, and hopefully it can help you decide if you want to get this palette or not. So now I'm going to move on to dupes and compare it to other palettes. I am only going to do ColourPop dupes with this palette just because it's, you know, ColourPop. I don't want to bring in any other brands, but I did post a flat lay of this palette on my Instagram, and I did get a comment to compare it to the Modern Renaissance, so just for that I will for this video. So this is the Modern Renaissance palette, and this is the double, I'm gonna call it DE, okay? This is the ColourPop DE palette, this is the Modern Renaissance. As you can see, to me this is just so different. I think 3 of these shades look similar. Maybe these 3 shades here as transition shades look similar to the 3 here, but honestly to me they are very different, and the kind of looks you will get out of these 2 palettes are very different to me. So now we are gonna move on to ColourPop dupes. I actually have quite a lot. Like I said, this palette is very dupeable, so it's not like something so unique that you need to, like, you know, run out and get. But I mean, if you're a beginner or you just love warm palettes and you just want more, I mean, be my guest. So the first shadow that I want to dupe is this one here. This one is called Flasher. This is the Satin in the palette. And the one that I think looks very similar is from the All I See Is Magic palette in the shade Treat Yourself, which is also the Satin in this palette. All I See Is Magic, it's probably like more white, and the DE palette, it's less white. Both the same formula and they look pretty similar once it's on the skin. The next shade that I want to dupe, this one is called Draft. It's like a beautiful metallic shade. I am so obsessed with this one. And then the dupe is in the I Think I Love You palette, and this one is called Level Up. And as you can see, they both are in the same color family. They do have that very orangey, reddy, brown metallic shade. The I Think I Love You one is a little bit more orange, and the double ENTENDRE one is a bit more red, but I mean they are both very similar. And then the next shade is going to be Keep It PG, which is like a light gold champagne. This one is a little bit more thicker. It does have a bit more glitter in this one. The dupe that I have is from the You Had Me at Hello palette. It's the second shade called Moonstruck. I think the double ENTENDRE palette is a little bit darker, and the You Had Me at Hello one is a little bit lighter and a bit more champagne, but they are very similar, like super similar. So the next shade that I'm going to dupe is called Nip Slip. This is the neutral transition shade, and the first dupe is from the Yes Please palette. This one is called Note to Self. And then the next one is from the You Had Me at Hello palette. This one is called Pulling Strings. I mean, it is no surprise that I could dupe this shadow very easily. It's a very common shade to put in palettes because it's such a, you know, standard transition shade. But again, all of these look quite similar, whether it's a little bit warmer, a tone darker, a tone lighter. They are all very similar and they do the same thing. I'm not mad that I can find a dupe for this because I do think this shade is a necessary shade for a lot of eye looks. And then last and finally, I have the last dupe, which is the darkest brown, which is called Teddy Bear. And the dupe that I have with it is in the You Had Me at Hello palette, and this one is called Sparks Fly. So the one in the You Had Me at Hello palette, when you try to swatch it, it's actually really patchy. So the You Had Me at Hello one is probably a little bit more burgundy than brown, but the tone of it, like the brownness in it, is very similar. So they look very same once it's on the eyes. I think this one is a very close dupe as well. But yeah, those were all my dupes. Let's just go ahead and get started with the swatches and also the 3 demos. So before we even get started with look number 1, please excuse this uninvited guest right in the middle of my face. So please just ignore it. But anyway, to get started, I am going to set my eyes with the shade Lock and Loaded with my Makeup Collective number 16 brush. And then I'm going to be taking a mixture of Naked and Extracurricular on my Sigma E40, and this is going to be our transition shade. And now I'm going to be taking the shade Nip Slip on my ColourPop E9 brush, and I'm going to start placing this on the outer corner and the inner corner of my eye, leaving the center of my eye blank. And now I'm going to take the shade Uninhibited on my Makeup Collective number 18 brush, and I'm going to place this shade on the center of my lid. Taking the shade Keep It PG on my pinky finger, I'm just going to lightly dab this on top. And I'm also going to use this shade to highlight my brow bone as well. Taking the shade Nip Slip on my Makeup Collective number 11 brush, I will be running this on my lower lash line. Taking Teddy Bear on my ColourPop angled brush, I'm going to use this shade to just kind of tightline my upper lash line instead of using a gel liner. I don't want to use anything too harsh, so I'm just going to smoke out my lash line. Using Keep It PG on my Real Techniques setting brush, I'm going to use this to highlight the tops of my cheekbones. So So this is going to complete look number 1. I decided not to wear any false lashes this time because I have gotten a comment asking me to do a look without false lashes. All my looks are optional when it comes to false lashes. You can put them on if you want to. But I thought for this look, it's more on the natural side for me and it's a bit more everyday wear, I guess. And I thought it looked nice without any false lashes anyway. So here you go. This is a look without any false lashes. For the lip color that I'm wearing, it is ColourPop's Ultra Glossy Lip in Aquarius. Okay, look number 2, I'm going to set my eye primer down with the shade Lock and Loaded once again. I'm going to take the shade Nip Slip on my Sigma E40 and this is going to be our transition shade. Then I'm going to take the shade Hot Bod on my XO Beauty Tulip Crease Brush. And this is the shade where it's a matte base but it has gold glitters. It's one of those shadows again. So I'm going to press this all over my lid and then blend it up into the crease. But we want to focus it on the lid first. Taking the shade Teddy Bear on my ColourPop E9 brush. I'm going to put this on my lid, but mainly focusing it close to my lash line. Just kind of deepening everything up just a tiny bit more. For my lower lash line, I'm going to take the shade Hard on my Makeup Collective number 11 brush. Taking the shade Keep It PG, I'm going to use this on my ColourPop small shader brush and I'm going to use this to highlight my brow bone and also my inner corners. I'm also going to use Keep It PG as my highlight again. I think for all the looks I will just be using this highlighter. So this is the completed look for look number 2. It's very dramatic, very smoky. Honestly, the complete opposite of look number 1. So hopefully you guys like the diversity in my looks. But for the lip color that I'm wearing, it is the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip in Take a Pixie. So to get started with the last and final look, I am going to set my eyes down with Lock and Loaded once again. I have been loving this shade to set my eyes down. Taking a mixture of Naked and Extracurricular on my Sigma E40. This is going to be our transition shade. So I'm going to recreate the look that I did on my favorite brushes video. I used this palette in that video, so I thought I would just recreate it again because I really liked how it turned out. And then I'm taking the shade Hard on my Morphe M433 and this is going into the outer third of my eye. Taking the shade Teddy Bear on my ColourPop E9 brush. I'm just going to slightly deepen out the outer third. Using the shade Draft on my Makeup Collective number 18 brush, this is going to go all over the inner third. Taking the shade Hard on my Makeup Collective number 11 brush, I'm going to run this from outer corner to inner corner on my lower lash line. And then just taking the shade Teddy Bear, I'm just going to take a flat top brush and just put it on the outer corner on my lower lash line. Using the shade Keep It PG on my brow bone, my inner corners, and also on the tops of my cheekbones as well. So this will be the completed look for look number 3. The lip color that I'm wearing is Aquarius Ultra Satin and Aquarius Ultra Gloss on top. So that, guys, is going to conclude my video for today. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I know I talked so much just about one palette, but I want to be as helpful as I can to you guys. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up for me, and also leave your comments down below. What do you think of this palette? Are you guys going to pick it up? Did you already pick it up? What do you guys think? Next week is going to be my Kathleen Lights Dream Collection video. I'm actually still waiting for it in the mail, so hopefully it will come this week and I can start working on my 3 looks for you guys. But yeah, excited for that. That is pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye!